This is Week5, and I'll be presenting to you sustainable IT or green IT. Hello everyone, this is Week5, and I'll be presenting to you sustainable IT or green IT.
Energy prices is rising, and use of old equipment is piling up in storage. So what is the role of IT? Green IT or sustainable IT is a term used to describe management, manufacture, and use of technology in a way that minimizes its environmental impact. As a result, the word green IT has a different meaning depending if you are a manufacturer, manager, or user of technology. Sustainable IT manufacturing refers to the methods of producing products in such a way that does not harm the environment. Sustainable IT management and use has to do with the way a company manages its IT assets. That includes buying energy-efficient IT equipment such as PC, laptop, servers, switch, and also managing the power consumption of all those IT equipments. Does your company have an overall plan for implementing green IT practices? According to an October Forrester survey, Green Progress in IT Enterprise found that 38% of respondents were applying environmental criteria in evaluating products, compared with 25% in April survey. The survey was based on responses from 130 enterprise IT professionals in North America and European countries. Driving the increase talks about global warming, performance per watt, and the cost to power data centers. Results aren't surprising. However, the survey points out a gap between awareness of environmental consideration and action. Only 15% were actually implementing green IT practices. So does your company goes with the 15% of this? Apparently, more companies factor doing what's good for the environment. It's important buying criteria came in second on the list of top motivations for green IT. So does going green can help the company? Yes, there are some steps IT departments can take toward becoming green that don't cost a lot. You can start by reminding your IT staff to turn off their PCs or shut off the lights before leaving for the day. Meanwhile, there are many IT investments you probably want to make anyway that will also reduce your impact on the environment. Virtualization technologies, server consolidation, PC power management, and deployment of more efficient equipment. When you do a refresh, you can reduce energy consumption while simultaneously improving IT operations. So why companies need to implement green IT? In the present scenario, organizations are facing numerous challenges, issues, and risks. One of the biggest ones is global warming. Environmental changes, depletion of natural resources, dependency on IT are forcing green IT strategy to become a necessity. Data centers using 10 to 30% more energy per square footage than office space. Data center energy use doubling every 5 years. Delayed capital investment in new power plants. Energy efficiency is becoming a key metric of IT operational effectiveness. Flexible, secure, dynamic infrastructure is to be devised to help organizations address critical energy and power costs. So what are the benefits of obtaining a green IT? One, become energy efficient, save natural resources, optimize process, enhance infrastructure, reduce dependency on natural resources, initiate recycling initiatives, provide environmental corporate responsibility culture, provide green IT culture, ensure continuous improvement in green IT posture. Or commonly known or properly known as e-waste. Sustainable IT disposal refers to the safe disposal of IT assets at the end of their life cycle. We have to ensure that old computer equipment does not end up in the landfill, where toxic substances it contains can leach into groundwater, among other problems. Many of the major hardware manufacturers offer take-back programs, so IT departments don't have to take responsibility for disposals. Has a buyback program regarding e-waste. Your organization should also have an e-waste disposal program. Also, many companies can help you properly dispose your e-waste. They can recycle all the materials properly, so your e-waste will not end up in a landfill. Goal behind most green business initiatives, including green IT, is to promote environmental sustainability. Sustainability is an approach to economic development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Arguing that going green is the right thing to do won't get you anywhere. The best way to make business case based on energy savings, operational efficiency, or new revenue opportunities. In other words, we need to find a way to make going green fit the corporate agenda. When the CEO and the board of directors recognize it's the right thing to do for shareholders, employees, customers, and the brand, that's the catalyst that says and things starts to happen. Going green is really hard to implement. So, is your company has implemented sustainable IT, or you already have implemented sustainable IT? Going green is the future of IT.